Welcome back, teacher friends. I am Nina Rodriguez, and this is Misfit to Teach, where I talk about all things teaching and how to stay mentally, physically, and emotionally fit to teach. If I don't already know you, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you and I can come together every week. It is that special time of year again when we're in the home stretch and we are beginning final preparations for standardized testing, when we are basically tapped out because we did not get enough rest over spring break, and we are looking forward to a long and restful summer, even if it means we're working a different job. For a lot of us, though, this time of year also means it is contract season. Yes, contracts are coming out, and every district does this probably a little bit differently. I know that in my district, we get those usually after spring break. So about mid-April, those start to come out, and we have like 5 to 7 business days to make a decision as to whether or not we are signing on for another year of the crazy, or if we are departing this crazy train. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about understanding the difference between really knowing when it's time to transfer to a different school or when it's time to leave teaching. Because sometimes the factors between those two things can get a little bit foggy. I do believe that there's gray area, and self-awareness is one of the most helpful things. A time of reflection is helpful too when we're making the decision as to stay or go. So really quickly, before I head out to coach my track practice, I wanted to go over just a few things to keep in mind before you sign on the dotted line. If you feel like you are really called to continue doing this work, but you don't feel really settled in where you are teaching right now, I think that's just a primary indicator that you may look into transferring. Certainly between years 3 and 5, even after year 1, you would have cultivated a substantial amount of knowledge about yourself in the classroom and with students of your particular age group to know whether or not you foresee yourself being with that age group again in subsequent years. But if you feel like your talents and skill sets are such that you still want to teach, but maybe do teaching in a different capacity, maybe with a different age group, or who knows, perhaps in a different school altogether, I think having a conversation at this time of year, sort of mid-April, getting into May, is really opportune to reach out to your HR and talk about what options are possible for you. You don't have to be ashamed or feel guilty about not wanting to sign on for another year in your particular grade level or in your particular school if you know innately that that's not what you're best suited to do. There's nothing wrong from time to time with reaching out to your HR and just making sure that you stay sort of top of mind and on the top of their stack of resumes, and that you are always fully informed of your options. In most cases, HR does not mind answering your questions or talking to you or keeping you aware of changes in the applicant pool, job openings, different criteria that it would take to fill in certain positions that they're looking for, and so on. So this is a wonderful time of year that if you're considering a transfer, you may want to reach out to your human resources management and have them work with you as to what your next steps might be. However, if you feel like you are tapped out, if you you don't have any vision for what this upcoming school year is going to be, or if you just feel like it's time to move on, even if you're not entirely sure what, I would say that it sounds like it might be an indication that maybe you're done being a teacher in this particular season of life. Now, I never advocate somebody jumping ship unless they have another ship that they can pretty quickly swim to. So that being said, and metaphors aside, if there is some other opportunity that you want to be pursuing at this next season of your life, and you have looked into it, you know the ins and outs, you're generally secure in making that transition, then by all means, I wish you love and light as you progress into this next season. And I hope that whatever it is you do once you get outside of your classroom is fulfilling for you. This is also a great time of year to reassess and consider whether or not you want to be still in the land of academia, but like in a different capacity. Maybe you can start looking into administration or being a teacher coach, something that's very near and dear to my heart, especially as my community grows. Maybe it's great for you to look into coaching, whether that's a sport or a club within your school system. Generally, district to district, there are plenty of opportunities to begin branching out in our careers and do something that gets us outside of the four walls of our classroom and also helps you to grow professionally. So if you feel like you're not really feeling this whole teacher shtick anymore, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to quit, as much as it could mean that it's just time to branch out. And lastly, I did a speaking engagement last week at Hollins University where I was talking with upcoming and rising educators about the ins and outs of teaching and how to do that well and how to have longevity. And one of the things that came up in our discussions is always keeping your resume sharp and polished and being on the lookout for new opportunities. As you sign on this next contract, if you will be continuing teaching, and I hope you will, consider reaching out to your administration, your principal, or the academic leadership in your building and see what needs are not currently being met and where your talents and skill sets could really fit the bill. You would be surprised generally how many things we assume in our heads would be no, when if we simply ask the question, the answer turns into a yes. If you feel like you would be a really great grade level leader or content area leader, you should look into, at this time of the year, what steps to take in order for you to fill that position for the upcoming school year. If you have wonderful ideas for curriculum or classroom novel sets or experiments that would be worthwhile for science labs, lessons that your school should be implementing that you would love to spearhead in a math classroom, I encourage you to really go full out and put yourself out there. The worst that could happen is somebody tells you no, but I can guarantee you, if you don't raise the concern at all, the answer will always be no. So, I have signed my contract. I'm primed and ready for year number 8 in this upcoming school year. And I did want to take this time to let my audience know that I too am putting my money where my mouth is, and I am transferring. I have no desire to quit teaching, even though sometimes the road can get rough. I do feel called to do this type of work for the long haul. By and large, the pros vastly outweigh the cons for me, and I want to continue. But I know that I'm just not destined to work in middle school for the rest of my career. And so with that being said, I wanted to let you know that as of this upcoming school year, the Misfit to Teach channel will be deploying strictly from the high school setting. As of this upcoming school year, I will be teaching in one of our local high schools, still in the same city district, and I'm very excited and totally open to any suggestions that you have. So that's it. I just wanted to give you a bit of my personal news and to encourage you, as I'm currently going through right now, if it's time to transfer, give it your best shot. It's worth it. And if it's time to close the door on teaching and say goodbye and hello to new adventures, I want to bid you thank you so much for watching, and I hope your next season is a great one. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, do all you can to stay fit to teach. Be well.